Next character.
Robb Stark.
Oh. Robb Stark. Robb Stark was my favorite character in the show up until he died. That being said, Robb Stark is kind of an interesting case because he seemed like he was pretty calculated and well reserved in his conversations. He was obviously a very good tactician because he outperformed Tywin Lannister on the battlefield multiple times. He was winning big battle after battle after battle.
Outnumbered at that.
Yeah, so he was, showing some real Alexandrian type of traits. However, politics is where he dropped the ball so heavily. He just did not have the political mind that he needed, that Tywin did have, in order to keep him alive.
Like, it's everything else in Game of Thrones. Every character gets all fucked up as soon as he finds a girl he likes.
Yeah, I mean, the girl was his first huge political mistake, but I don't think that she is the sole reason for his downfall. I think that was simply the first big mistake he made.
That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the only real political error he makes. That's the one that spurs the
Red Wedding?
Yes, but
Yes.
I was trying to name the family.
Oh, the phrase.
Yes, the phrase. I mean, if he never does that, Walder Frey Walder.
I think it's Walder.
Yeah, stays loyal enough that doesn't occur. Most likely.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't think he has reason to kill Robb Stark.
If that doesn't happen, I mean, everything else goes in his favor at that point. Unforeseen future events.
You're missing a very, very big political error that Robb Stark made. I'm trying to remember the family name. I want to say it's like the Starks or something. It was a general within his army, and they murdered, for those of you who might not remember, they murdered a couple young Lannister family members, but they weren't major players. They were pretty young. They weren't even real soldiers. They were simply captured in one of the battles, and the Starks basically went in and murdered them when they were in captivity. And, granted, that's obviously wrong, and all the more power to Robb Stark, who was trying to be pure. He's very similar to Ned Stark. His ideals and his honor and his principles are the most important things to him. And he killed the leader, the Stark leader.
And I can't disagree with that, because even when you look at war, even in real life, the biggest issue that restrains armed forces is when you try to mix morals and restraint in a situation that thrives off chaos.
Yeah.
You do lose power.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but
Of
the
course.
proper way to have handled that would, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. And even though you despise what he did, it's worth it to deal with that shit until you defeat Tywin Lannister. And then, after you defeat the Lannisters, you can address these atrocities, which it was a war crime. But the fact that you executed him put you at the phrase on your knees to the phrase. You had to go and risk your life with the phrase because you lost such a significant portion of your army. So that is politics failing.
And that's a very good point. I mean, it's unfortunate that things played out the way that they did, because after Ned dies, I mean, Robb really becomes the biggest player on the board.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how most people out there felt, because I know that Jon Snow was a heartthrob.
Yeah, but he was doing nothing.
Yeah. Everything's going to shit, and I'm not going to help anyone. I'm just going to go to the wall and do stupid things and then die by a 12-year-old boy stabbing me.
Robb Stark was awesome because he came back. Everyone loved Ned Stark. I mean, he was like the most universally liked character. And at the time, if you hadn't read the books, you weren't used to Game of Thrones just offing people left and right. So, everyone is heartbroken from Ned Stark, and Robb Stark is the person who's going to avenge him, who's going to bring the Starks back.
And not only that,
so big.
He was everything his father was, but not in the image that we see his father.
Yeah.
In the image that his father was portrayed during the Robert Rebellion. Like, this was the side of Ned that you never got to see.
This
because it was
like Ned in his heyday.
Because Ned was 16, 17 when he went off to do that. And, like, you're seeing that same transformation. And unfortunately, he did not have the same luck. Maybe it would have helped if he would have... you know what? There was more political error. He did not take advantage of the opportunities of Renly Baratheon.
Oh, yeah, that's
who
true.
Very much offered to help him. I think even though that they said, oh, you need to come back into the kingdom and kneel to me, I think something could have been negotiated there.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes back to the same concept. You need alliances to beat your enemies.
I think the biggest issue was that he relied on his mother. A lot of times she was the one who pushed him into corners.
But he did go against her for executing the Stark guy. She didn't want him to do that.
But at the same point, he ended up in that relationship with the Freys that he ends up breaking because of her. That's something that we don't know. He possibly could have negotiated differently.
So diplomacy and politics are his weakness. Honor and strategy are his strengths.
Let's not forget trusting Greyjoy. How did we drop the ball on that?
To be fair, Greyjoy had already been trusted by his father, so he's basically just kind of continuing this pre-existing trust. But here's the question. Does his lack of political mind make him dumb? Or is he kind of in the middle? Or is he smart with some flaws?
It's hard. It's really hard to decide because at his age in the story, that's really a developmental age. And obviously with Ned being dead, the proper guidance that should have been there to kind of lead the way wasn't there for him. So you're seeing someone who's going through those last awkward teenage years and suddenly becoming King of the North and all this. So, I mean, there's a lot of pitfalls laid in the road for him. So I guess it's a little bit of both.
So we'll give him a meh.
Yeah.
He would have been a good general, but the leader was where he started to falter.
Needed a little bit more time to develop.
Yeah. Political, but he doesn't do it.
In some ways, he is Sansa with a penis. Because he's just sitting there going, no, I don't need your help. I don't want it. You do what I tell you.
At least
I want it, so I shall have it.